Jeremy Clarkson, eat your heart out, because this car review is world class. Remember to subscribe to the channel and hit that little notification bell if you're new and want to be notified every time I post a new video. Hi guys, it's ASBYT and welcome back to a brand new video. Now today's a bit of an odd one. It's not something that I usually actually focus on this channel. As you well know, this is mainly based on tech, and it's kind of tech related partly, but it's a little bit different. Now many of you who follow me on my social medias, Twitter and Instagram, will know that I got a new car the other day, and it was of course the Audi A4. So what I'm going to be doing, because a lot of you guys actually asked me on my social medias to do a review, so I'm going to be reviewing the car based on obviously using it over the last few days. I will give you my honest feedback on how it drives, all the technology packs and the entertainment and all that sort of stuff that comes with the car, and of course the practicability, including boot space, passenger seat, all of that, you know, mundane stuff that we all need when looking at a new car. So if you are interested in the Audi A4 this year in 2018, I have the latest model and I'm going to be sharing everything with you now. So let's go. So straight away, in terms of the look of the Audi A4, it's a very premium looking car, I'm not going to lie. So you've got the Skoda Octavia, the Volkswagen Passat, and of course the Audi A4. And of course the Audi A4 is the most premium out of the three. And it does appear like that. It does, when you look at the three cars, it does look the most elegant, I'm not going to lie. And obviously the new Audi A4, the 2018 model, very, very premium. I've obviously got the S-Line version, which is a slight jump up from the standard version. And again, you do notice the difference on the trim. So you've got the nice logo on the actual panel as you open the door. You've also got it on the back of the seats as well, the little S-Line, and you've also got it on the actual little badge on the steering wheel as well. And also the wheels as well. I believe it jumps up from a 17-inch standard wheel to the 18-inch wheel that I've got. Again, that might not be important to you, but they do look more premium. So the actual design of the Audi A4 hasn't really changed a great deal in the last sort of decade. It's had a few tweaks here and there. I do like the fact that it's got quite an angry looking front now, similar to the BMW, which was always sort of the angriest out of them sort of cars, the saloon cars, with this sort of square front. Well, this now with the, as you can see at the bottom bumper on each side, it sort of jets out, sticks out, and it, again, to add to that sort of squareness to it. Also, again, to make it slightly more angry in appearance, you've got the sharp pointed wing mirrors, and of course that groove which runs right along the side. It does again add to that angry low exterior that has stepped up from previous A4s, which were a little bit soft around the edges. I felt like the difference between the Audi A4 and the Mercedes, for example. I don't like the sloping back of the Mercedes. I find it like a sagging bum. Not gonna lie. Again, with the lights as well, the automatic lights which come on in the darkness because they're automatic lights. Generally how automatic lights would work, but yeah, they do come on straight away as soon as it starts to drop below a certain light. They come on, which is great. Automatic windscreen wipers as well on this model. I don't know whether that's a standard, I'm not too sure, but again on mine it does have that few specks of rain and it kicks in, which is good. It also has, I think they're called sweeping LED indicators or something like that, but where it sort of runs across like a domino effect where the lights, it sort of shows you the direction the car's going to be going, not just a blinking indicator light. Outside of this sort of more angry look to it, the Audi A4 has actually got longer and wider, so it does look again slightly more aggressive on the road than perhaps it did in the previous generations. And because it's slightly longer, if you've got a family, you know, you've got plenty of room in the back. The actual well in the middle is fairly substantial. You will have to sort of put your legs either side, which isn't the most comfortable, but it is nevertheless fine for a fairly long journey, and you can definitely easily fit 5 people in the car with no problem. Headroom's good as well, so again, I'm 6'1", I had no problem sitting in the back as well. You do also have an armrest which pops down in the back seat for the rear seat passengers, which again is pretty handy. There's not much to it other than the armrest though, so would like to see possibly like a cup holder or something in future releases, but it's not a deal breaker. You also, another good thing about this is you have a control for the ventilation, so you can actually control the aircon from the back as well by using the sort of plus and minus and the directions on here. Boot size, as you can see here, we have my baby's pram, which has been split into 2 and sunk in. Positives and negatives about the boot space, it does go back quite far. It is quite a long boot, again due to this extended length of the new Audi A4, which I quite like in terms of like prams and things like that. But because it's a saloon car, they all have this issue. obviously the narrowness between top and bottom as the entrance to the boot. So if you've got things that are quite wide to get in, like big boxes and stuff, it's not the most ideal, and a hatchback or an estate would be much better for you. It obviously comes standard with your, you know, spare tyre underneath. You've also got little metal attachments in there as well that you can obviously tie ropes to and stuff to hold certain things in place if you want a mini rig in the back of your boot. The glove box is pretty small, I'm not gonna lie. There's not really much you can fit in there. As you can see, you've got, you know, your manual and stuff like that. That's pretty much all you're gonna want to carry in there, possibly a small bottle of water, but you probably go with the wells actually either side, in the passenger seat or on the driver's side, where you can put bottles, or of course you've got your 2 cup holders below your entertainment system, for example. Inside the glove box as well, you do have your sat-nav card which you can plug in, and a CD player as well if you choose. I'm not really sure who uses CDs anymore, but you might do, and of course you can put a CD. Just punch the table. You can put a CD in there. Of course, if you don't want to use a CD, we're sort of going to jump onto the entertainment sort of section now. You can use Bluetooth and aux in the section, in the armrest next to the driver, which is fairly shallow as well, the actual place where you can put stuff. So maybe a smartphone or a watch or something like that, but nothing too big. So the entertainment system is absolutely brilliant. I'm not going to lie. It's very, very intuitive. It's very, very easy to use. You've got the dial on the middle there, which controls your radio and sat-nav. You can zoom in and out, and you can obviously choose specific settings and stuff on your car from that little dial. You've also got the little nodules where you can jump between radio, sat-nav, Bluetooth, you know, for your phone and stuff. It's very, very easy. I'm not going to lie. My only downside is, on my model anyway, the actual screen. One, doesn't fold away, which I find incredibly irritating, and it completely ruins the whole of the dash for me, because when you're there, you've just got this massive block in front of you, and I think that's pretty poor thinking from Audi, to be honest, considering a lot of other cars in a similar sort of market, and even some Audi cars, also have the fold-away screen on the dash, so I don't know why they've just left it there, a big slab, but there. Also, me doing tech, I love a bezel-less display, as you well know on the channel, and there's a massive bezel across that screen. We are in 2018 now, and it has a massive bezel, and the actual screen quality isn't the crispest. I think, being a massive brand, they should have teamed up with one of the biggest, not even one of the biggest, because you can find some budget smartphones now that do, and tablet makers, companies that do amazing screens. So it doesn't even have to be a big brand, but they should have a decent screen. I mean, you could make a 4K screen there very, very easily, and quite cheap from one of those sort of budget manufacturers, for example. And that setup would be so much crisper and much more enjoyable to use if it was of a high resolution and a bigger screen to body ratio as well. A letdown on that side of it. The gearbox is very, very good in terms of how it really chunks into the different gears. It's not flimsy at all. You really do feel like you're driving a good bit of kit. Likewise, the indicators, when you flick them, they do actually properly chunk in. They're not just like... Not sure what car has ever made that noise when you press it. But anyway, yeah, the indicators they're very... In fact, all of the gadgets and everything does feel very premium when you're using them. They proper clunk into place, and it is very enjoyable to use. Also on the dashboard, I do like the actual build quality. It's very, very smooth. It's very, very firm. It's very, it doesn't feel plasticky at all. You've got this lovely vent that runs all the way along from the driving wheel right the way to the passenger seat window, which again, aesthetically looks so much better than just having random vents across. And again, you've got that lovely sort of chrome effect. In terms of using the air conditioning and stuff like that, it's got lovely dials. You can actually see the LED numbers of the actual temperature gauge and stuff like that, and they've got a lovely click to them as you turn them, and obviously you press it in to actually select a certain thing. This is all touchscreen along the buttons here, so you can actually select the different sections just by running your finger across it, and then you can click up and down in order to actually activate the different sections, like your air conditioning or something like that. So again, very, very intuitive, very, very premium, and again, that's the sort of premiumness. It's not even a word. That's the sort of premiumness. That's what we want to see from the screen. If they could match the build quality of that to the screen, then of course it would be a match made in heaven. That was pretty cheesy, wasn't it? Anyway, so as you can see from the wheel, very, very comfy, quite thick in the hand, lovely material, lovely grip, lovely Audi badge on the front, lovely. is the term for the steering wheel. Lovely Audi badge on the front. Little S-line, like I mentioned, the little badge underneath that again makes it feel very premium, quite sporty. I know some of the models up from mine, you do have a flat bottom, so again, it much more feels... Can't even speak these days. It has a much better feeling of a sports car. So obviously mine has the full rounded wheel, but of course you can have the ones, again, the jump up from mine has the flat ones underneath. Behind the steering wheel, you obviously have your screen where you've got your speed dial, you've got your petrol gauge, miles till the next fill up, you know, miles that you've actually driven. You can also flick between and choose, you know, your phone, you can choose different radio stations, sat nav, all that sort of stuff from there. Now, if you upgrade from the one that I've got, you can have the full cockpit that they call it, the Audi Cockpit, the virtual cockpit, which of course, when you go on your sat nav, you can have the whole screen behind the wheel actually transforms into your maps, which I think is absolutely amazing. It's not available on my model, but in a future car, I would probably definitely go for it. It was just a lot more money for what some may say is a gimmick. When I've already got the sat nav there, I don't really need it there, so it was just a bit of I'd like to have it, but it's quite a gimmick. Adjustability of seats, up, down, back, right. Again, very, very easy. You've got nice dials on the actual chair's bottom. Chair's bottom? Whoo! Jeremy Clarkson, eat your heart out, because this car review is world class. In terms of driving performance, I have noticed straight away pretty much in the first few days that gears 2 to 5, it's really punchy. It does really kick in. As soon as you drop into second gear, it flies. However, I have noticed that in first gear, it seems quite sluggish to actually kick in. There is a slight delay. It's possibly and probably because it's a 1.4 engine. So straight away, it's not going to be the most powerful car. Also, I've noticed when you go into gear 6, you're driving down the motorway and you're hitting, you know, 70 mile an hour tops. You notice again its limitations. Again, with a more powerful engine, it possibly might be different, but I know between gears 2 and 5, it works like a dream. It's very punchy, very quick, very slick. So at the two ends of the scale, it's a little bit lackluster in performance. Also, in terms of driving, great grip round corners. I'm not going to lie. Again, coming from the Seat Leon FR, I have noticed a difference in how it handles the actual bends, even at top speeds. The traction feels very, very good. It does feel quite low to the ground. Again, for an A4, in the past, a lot of them felt quite high. This one definitely feels much more deep and entrenched in the tarmac. So yeah, handling first class. I've already mentioned that the gearbox is absolutely great to use. It really sort of clunks into gear really nicely compared to some of the other cars that I've driven. So that is something I'm very impressed with. So ladies and gents, that was my review of the Audi A4 in 2018. Let me know what you think about this car in the comment section below. Whether you are actually looking to get this car this year, or whether there is another brand, another model of a similar size car that you think is actually better. And let me know the reasons why. So hit that like button and share it if you did enjoy this video. Subscribe and hit that little notification bell next to it if you want to be notified every time I post a video, and I'll see you in the next one. Say ASBYT, peace out.